Hello, in this video I would like to show you my Certina watch. It is a Certina DS-1 watch. So Certina is one of the Swatch Group companies. That means they can have access to all the ETA movements and also of course the Powermatic 80. And this watch has the Powermatic 80 movement inside. It has the Powermatic 80.111 movement, which is famous more or less because it has the high-tech parts in it, also known as the plastic parts. It has a plastic pallet fork and plastic escapement in it, but I will talk about that a little bit later when I talk about the movement. So the dial is a silver sunburst with moderate sunburst effect. It has interestingly some kind of domed shape. You see around the edges it's coming down like a dome. It has stainless steel polished indices, triangle. It has polished hands with two angled surfaces, and it has the date at 3 o'clock with on a white date wheel. So on the dial it says Certina 1888 and it has the Certina logo which resembles two seals, and there it is written DS1 and Powermatic 80. DS stands for double security. It means that when the ground is pulled out, there's another seal there which prevents water from coming in, and that's also the reason for this symbol. The ground actually operates easier than on the Jazzmaster, which has a conventional 55 bar water resistance. This has 10 bar water resistance. The date jumps exactly at midnight. Or a few minutes before midnight. What I like especially about this watch is it has a classy look, but it still is very good readable. That's because there is always a good contrast between or almost always a good contrast between the sunburst matte dial and the shiny polished hands. Now they are reflecting very strong, but that's because I'm using these studio lights which have a very big surface, but under real world conditions you will always have a good contrast. And this watch has no lume at all, so no lume on the dial, no lume on the hands, and I think I'm always happier with no lume than with bad lume. I think with a smart design of hands and dial you do not need lume actually. So the case is made from stainless steel. It's a 316L stainless steel. It has polished and brushed elements, so it's polished on almost all surfaces except on the top edge of the lugs here and here. It's hard to see because they're so small actually. And the shape of the lugs remind me a little bit on the Aquaterra. I think it has similar lugs. The shape of the case is round with the lugs quite straight coming out of it, coming out straight of the with a flat surface with a sharp edge out of the very round case of the casing. So it's an interesting design. It looks big on the wrist because of it has a very thin bezel. It is bright and has a very big bezel. So with its 40 millimeters, it has a big presence on the wrist. I think I have a 7-inch wrist approximately. That's how it looks. I think the lugs are not crazy. It's a present watch, but it's not huge. Doesn't appear huge. So it has a good balance between some kind of dressiness or classiness and a little bit of dynamic, I think. The glass is a sapphire glass, and it's very slightly domed. You can almost not see it on the video, but it is actually very slightly domed. So if we look at the back, so we see we have a glass see-through bottom with the movement and the black rotor which has written Certina on it. The plastic parts are not visible, they are below the bridge. We also see all the writing on the edge of the back. It says, I don't know if you can see it good in the video, but it says Certina DS-1. It says all the numbers. It says sapphire glass, sapphire crystal. Then it tells us it has a water resistance of 100 meters, and it is made from stainless steel. Okay. The watch with the metal bracelet, with the steel bracelet, weighs 120 grams. So it feels quite light in comparison to a watch like this Jazzmaster from Hamilton, which also has 40 millimeter dimensions, but is quite heavier, feels quite heavier. So let's look at the dimensions quickly. The diameter of the watch is exactly 14 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters. The height of the watch is 11 millimeters, and the lug to lug distance is 47 millimeters. The first links do not protrude out of the lugs. Absolutely not. The bracelet is very nice made. I think it's a highlight of the watch actually. It's very well made and can articulate very good. Look at that. It feels really good on the wrist. You can alone seeing that how this can flex and move. You can see this is a nice bracelet. Really it feels really nice on the wrist. It looks almost a little bit like a presidential. It has at least the like a little bit the impression of it, the looks of it. It looks in the flesh, it looks more valuable than you're actually paying. It looks I have seen watches with a similar bracelet which cost like 3,000 euros or 3,000 euros or even more. So it punches weight. It punches way about its weight. The bracelet has two outer links which are brushed, inner link which is, and three inner links which are polished. It also has a clasp, a butterfly clasp with a roughed surface on the inside and written Certina on it. Honestly, I think this 4 is a little bit boring, but it's not too bad. I would like to see the turtle here. That would be cool. The bracelet has pins, push and pull push pins, and bushings. So if you remove the pins, be careful to remove them in the right direction. If you remove them in the wrong direction, you will destroy your bushings. And when you work on the bracelet to make it shorter, for example, then take care that you do not lose the bushings. They may fall out. So this watch also came with these additional leather straps. They are from quite thick leather, and they have a quick release and feel very good on the wrist. They're very comfortable, and I think they are made from good quality leather. In the video maybe you do not see it, but it's quite a good leather. So we already started talking about the movement. It's like I said, the 80.111 movement. It has the plastic pellet fork and plastic escapement. It has 80 hours of power reserve and beats at 3 Hz. I personally have no problem with the plastic parts, because after all they are only wear parts, and it's like the brakes on your car. The pellet fork and the escapement, they are releasing, controlled the energy from the mainspring, and they get a lot of friction, they get a lot of force, so they will wear down. And the idea from ETA is that plastic parts are dealing good with this kind of friction. And I know that in very expensive microscopes and binoculars there are also plastic parts which control the movement of the mechanics. It sounds weird, but plastic parts guarantee a tight fit, and they are self-lubricating. So a lot of people think plastic is bad, but it's in the right application, it's the better part actually. But I understand that people think, I also think that ETA should have been more transparent with what high-tech, they call it high-tech escapement. There should be more transparent what this high-tech escapement really means, because a lot of people who buy these mechanical watches, they want like real all metal, old style watches which they can give their children and grandchildren, and metal parts are somewhat not what they expect from this kind of watch. If you have this watch or this kind of movement, don't worry. They work great, and the plastic parts are actually a feature, not a deficit. And as far as I know, they can be exchanged by the regular metal pellet fork and escapement. But in reality, no one will do that. I mean, if for some reason you are not happy, or it breaks down or whatever, you can just replace the movement. I don't think if this kind of movement is breaking down, no one will really repair it. Usually they will be just swapped for a new movement. And every 28-24-2 or every other Powermatic will fit into this watch or any other similar watch, so that's a non-issue. This plastic, this pellet fork and escapement, you can think about it like the brakes on your car or on your bicycle. These are the parts who are suffering from the friction, who are used to control some kind of mechanical energy, and during this control they degrade. They will be they have to be replaced after some time. And plastic parts actually can do are great at self-lubricate and deal with this kind of friction and stress. So it's not necessarily bad. It's just that I understand that a lot of people who are buying these kind of things, they have this romantic idea of the all metal watch and some kind of watchmaker who is sitting there and repairing the watch and whatever. And yeah, I think ETA should have been more transparent about it. But beside that, it's a great movement. It keeps the time well, and I'm pretty sure it will last a long time. And yeah, so generally I hadn't planned to buy this watch, but I saw it at a dealership with 50% reduced. So it costs me only 300 euros, or a little bit over 300 euros. And it was so cheap that I had to say, no, I have to buy it. I had to buy it. Yeah, it was such a good deal. And I didn't regret it at all. It's a great, since I didn't pay a lot of it, I don't have to, it's not a baby, I'm not babying it. And actually, I started to like it a lot, although I'm not actually a Certina guy. And so I like it, it's great. One thing I have to mention though, when I bought it, after a few days I noticed there was something inside the watch. Yeah, it was some kind of debris, like it looked a little bit like a piece of a hair. And it was sometimes on the rotor, sometimes on the platine. And I was worried that it would get stuck in the movement itself, and that I couldn't get it out anymore. So, and I didn't want to return the watch because it was such a good deal. And yeah, I ended up opening the watch myself and removing it, and it turned out to be some kind of bristle, like a thick hair from a brush or something like this. At least that was my impression of it. So my guess is that at some point at the manufacturing, they used a brush or something similar, and a piece of it broke and was then inside my watch. Yeah, so that's a quality hiccup, and I think I wanted to mention it. Yeah, because that's what it is. Otherwise, a great watch, and I end up wearing it quite a lot because it has a very good balance of classiness and office style and free time style. It fits always basically. I can put it on in basically every condition, every situation, and it's classy, it fits, and a lot of people are noticing this watch. Yeah, and although it's not an expensive watch, at full price you pay something like 750 or 800 euros or something like this. And that's, of course, it's not cheap, but it's not a really expensive watch. But I noticed that people think it's an expensive watch because of the great bracelet, I guess, because the bracelet looks really like a bracelet of an expensive watch. So that are my thoughts about the Certina DS-1. And yeah, okay, thank you, bye.